Halloween
Forever.
Once again, another March of the Clowns Minisode here, Steve. You know what I learned from this movie? Spoiler alert, guys, it's another clown movie. You know what I learned from this movie?
What?
When you're getting chased by a killer clown, you can't just run through a campsite.
No.
Which is weird. No. What? Do you know what I'm going to say?
I mean, it's like the punchline just winds up because it's intense or something.
Yep. You can only ran through campsites, because it's past tense.
Right.
You guessed it, Steve. I gotta start digging deeper. I gotta start digging deeper for these. Welcome, boys and ghouls, to a very grammatically focused minisode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
And I'm Steve, part 2666.
Yeah. Guys, you might be a little surprised to see what the episode title is here. Not because we're above doing a movie with a title like this, more because we didn't talk about it, and we talked about, hey, what's this other clown? We know we're on the March of the Clowns here in the wonderful, hilarious month of March. We've been doing clown shit for you, but you know what? You know what you didn't know is we were going to throw in another riveting installment of Tubi Roulette. But not only are we doing Tubi Roulette, we're doing clown themed Tubi Roulette. So here's what you boys did. We went on over to the Tubi, which is actually what I'm scrolling through right now, figuring out what I'm going to put on in the background just to, give my eyes something to look at. Well, what we did was we went over to the Tubi, we went into the search, and we put in clowns. And then we just scrolled for several minutes. And then whatever you land on, that's what you got to watch. That's how Tubi Roulette works. In this instance, we landed on just a gem, just a diamond in the rough from just last year, believe it or not, a movie called Camp Blood 666. Part 2, Exorcism of the Clown. Oh, good Christ on a cracker. I had seen some of the Camp Blood movies pop up on the Tubi before. I do not believe I ever watched any of them. Steve, what is your level of familiarity with the Camp Blood franchise, dare I call it?
The franchise itself, I was very limited. I had not seen any of them. Mm-hmm. But I am tangentially familiar with this entire collective of filmmakers. Mm-hmm. We're looking at like a real kind of like amorphous blob of slapdash B schlock horror that emanates from the Philly area.
Yeah, it's got a real Philly, New Jersey flavor to it.
Yeah, and that's where this all comes from. It's a Philly, New Jersey collective, probably a little New York, because I think I was trying to just find more about the actors, and they all come from kind of the New York, Philly, Delco area. It's all that. It's just all
Delco. This just drips Delco, this entire production. And you know what? When you got a real good one on your hands is when you go in there and very few, if any, of the actors have, IMDb profiles or pictures. And then when you do find a picture, it's clearly just taken straight from Facebook. It's just a profile picture from Facebook. You're going down a strong path here.
Yeah. I mean, the director for this one, it's just a picture of him wearing the clown mask from a previous Camp Blood.
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah, this is a tricky one because when you see this type of stuff out there, 99% of the time you see a title like this and you see that it's from 2023 and you never heard anything about it. And you just think, all right, this is about what we're going to get. And sometimes it's really funny. Sometimes it's unwatchable. Sometimes it's a little bit of both. I would argue perhaps maybe this falls in the category of a little bit of both. I don't know. I thought there were some entertaining moments. But hey, when you play Tubi Roulette, sometimes you get the bullet, right? That's just how she goes. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she don't go. That is just the way she goes. So we'll get a little bit more into this here, Flicky, in a hot damn second. Y'all are familiar with the Tubi Roulette, but for those of you who aren't familiar with the show otherwise, here's what we do. Every damn Monday, we do some spicy, sweet content on the internet in the form of a podcast. First Monday of every month's a Showdown episode. That's our big episode for the month where we have a guest on and we talk about a particular topic. We pull from a dang old spinny ass wheel of a bajillion different topics. We pick 3 of them, put them on the social medias. Our friends and social media listeners, they will vote. Well, this last week was time to vote. Now, this particular minisode, we're recording a week early. We're almost doing almost a back-to-back. We're recording only a couple days apart, which we typically don't do. We try to record, as close to the release date as possible. However, your boy's going on vacation, going to be out of town, going to be out in the woods, doing weird shit, praying to Satan, trying to kill God, raising hail, praising Dale, that sort of shit. So we're not really going to have the opportunity to record later in the week. So we're doing this a little bit early. So let me remind you what those Showdown topics that the spinny wheel chose for us that are going to be potential topics or are potential topics for the Showdown episode in April. That'll be the first month of April. The first one was blood blank or blank blood or blank blood blank or blood blank Dr. Blood's revenge of his blank blank, whatever. Just blood in the title, right? Is what the first one is. The second one is going to be horror movie soundtracks. Kind of an interesting one there. We haven't done a soundtrack related or even I don't even think we've done spooky songs or anything that in the past. So that'll be fun. And then the third option was, of course, back to school, which is a returning topic that we actually did, I believe, in the very first year of the show. Isn't that what we determined? So it's been quite a while.
Yeah, it was episode 8, our Showdown.
And we're in episode fucking 946 or some bullshit at this point. I don't know how many we've done. So for those of you who went out and voted on the social medias, on the Instagrams and the Twitter at Halloween is Forever or at Hallow Forever on Twitter, thank you for helping us vote. And although I don't know what the topic is going to be, I'm going to pretend I do so Steve can insert the April Showdown topic here.
Horror movie soundtracks.
Boy, howdy, that's going to be fun. I'm so excited that one won. The one that won, I'm excited for it and to do it in April.
It's quite the excellent topic, and our audience, as always, is incredibly smart for picking it.
Great job. Kudos all around for those of you who voted for that topic. So, if you've got suggestions, because the reason why we needed to announce that is because next week we will announce our movies, our picks for that particular topic. So if you've got a movie that pertains to it, shoot us, or perhaps a soundtrack. If soundtrack was the one that won, I don't know which one won. I'm in the past. Shoot us a DM on the Twitter, on the Instagram, or on the Facebook, or on the TikTokies, whatever. We're on all that shit. The threads, whatever you got. We're always looking for those suggestions. If you want to support the show in some other fun way, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One of them, you can go over your podcatcher app, your Stitcher, your Apple Podcast, whatever you use, and give us a 5-star review or whatever the fucking maximum number of stars they'll allow you to do on that given app. And then you got to write a little review. Just right down below it, you write in a little box, hey, these boys, hey, they're all right. And then if you want to, you can DM me and I'll send you some freaking stickers in the mail. And who knows, well, types of other shit. I always got little Halloween goodies I'll send you in the mail for free, just for putting a dang old review on the Podcatcher app. The other way you can do it, of course, is via our Patreon. Steve, tell them what Patreon's all about over there on patreon.com/Halloween's Forever.
Hell yeah. Patreon, that's where you get all the goodies. You can have a lot of fun on the Patreon. We got reviews. You get episodes early if you join the $5 tier, because then you get to be right here with us as we're doing our emergency recordings, you could have been hearing this episode an entire week early because of the way it shook out.
Guys, just imagine. Just imagine
it. But then also you get the exclusive podcast, Family is Forever.
Oh yeah, we got 8 episodes down, 2 more to go, and then we'll be on to our next installment. You might be asking yourself, "What's Family's Forever?" Here's what it is. Steve tricked me real good. Really pulled one over on me, grifted me on a long-term type grift situation where he made me watch all the Fast and the Furious movies one by one. I never saw any of them except for the first one. And we're watching all motherfucking 10 of them. We are 8 down, 2 to go. And then we discuss them in the podcast. These movies are stupid. And the people who like them are also stupid. They are made for people with smooth fish brains. And if you're one of those people and you want to get on there and get mad as I insult you in the movies that you like, come on over and listen to it. Or if you are a sensible person and you think these movies are hot shit and you want to listen to us make fun of this, cinematic diarrhea, come on over and do that as well. Either way, it's a lot of fun. I hate the movies so much. I hate every second of watching them. But I do like talking about them and making fun of them. And it's a lot of fun. And we always end up doing some sort of fucked up fanfic spinoff or something like that. It gets real grimy.
We have all kinds of threads that spread out from those movies. There's a lot going on. I would argue that perhaps this Camp Blood series is the Fast and the Furious for low budget horror nerds.
But it's funny to compare Fast and Furious to anything that's low budget. It just becomes an oxymoron,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because unless you say the lower the budget, because in this like the Fast and the Furious franchise we talk about, part of the joke of the whole thing is how obscenely large the budget is.
Yes.
So I suppose it could there could be a correlation there.
Yeah, I just think, like the lower the budget they go, the only thing that sets Camp Blood apart from Fast and the Furious, though, is this is a lot more tongue in cheek. At least the film that we watched, there are plenty of tongue in cheek moments that let you know, they know they're fucking about. Right.
Yeah, they're not sitting here like Julian, what's his name from Killer Clown? What's his name again?
Julian Chia.
Yeah, he thought he was making a masterpiece. These folks, they got no delusions about what type of thing they're making here. Although I would argue that no matter what they are intended to do, they're doing a bad job of it. Anything short of completing a movie, they have done a bad job of. But you know what? We'll get into it. But yeah, definitely come over and check us out on the Patreon, patreon.com/Halloween is Forever for a mere $5 a month. That's the premium tier. That's where you get the podcast, the extra podcast. We've done 8 of them. They're like 3 hours long, at least. Do the math. You're goddamn 24 hours of content and more to come. And then once we're done with the Fast and the Furious franchise, we're going to do some other weird fucking franchise after that. So a lot of content, a lot of tent over there for just $5 a month. Give us your paper money. We appreciate you supporting the podcast. Steve, are you sipping on something over there? Do you got a beer? Do you got some sort of zoom juice over there that you'd like to talk about?
Yes. As people will remember from last week's episode, I told Ben and Brian that I was going to go to JR's and get some treats. And that was on a Friday. And now we're recording this the Sunday after I went and got treats. So I have treats.
Yeah. This is the day after treat day.
Yeah. This treat comes to us from the Southern Tier Brewing Company. Mm-hmm. And it's the dang old French Toast Imperial Ale.
Oh, you did it. You went and you did it. You got yourself a treat. How is it?
It is too much. Like, I'm never going to drink this again. But, it's a fun little thing. It's a fun little jaunt down Grosstown Lane. Sure. It is 8.6%, and it tastes like just maple and cinnamon and booze. So, there's
Sounds
all that.
About right.
Yeah.
What's the ABV? It's a big boy, huh?
It's 8.6, actually. It's not even as big.
Humongous.
Yeah, but it still is just it's just burning my mouth because it's partially alcohol and partially sugar, and it's just it burns. I'm gonna have the flux. I'm gonna get the flux because of it.
You're gonna get the flux. Yeah, you're gonna be fluxing all over us over here. Yeah, that sounds really, really gross. I also just eating a bunch of weird stuff today. I ate like some ham sandwiches and then some like chips and dip, a bunch of cheese. My belly's feeling really weird. And the idea of eating or drinking that beer you just described sounds like a fate worse than death. Well, I am going in such an opposite direction too. I literally have 3 beverages here right now. First of all, I have some coffee, which I just realized I'm drinking out of my beautiful Halloween's Forever mug, which I think you can get over on if you go on our link on our whatever our social medias, and you go to the merch situation over there. You can go over to TeePublic and order some merch. That's where I got that mug at. Also, I'm just trying to get some caffeine in my face real quick. I had a Diet Dr. Pepper. Diet Dr. Pepper half opened. Well, it was fully opened and half drank in the fridge from earlier today. I grabbed that out, chugged it, and then I just cracked a beer. And I am drinking on a beer that went away for a while and just came back. And I absolutely fuck with this beer. Full disclosure, this is a beer made by my employer as well. But this is Leinenkugel's Grapefruit Shandy. This went away for a while, and then it came back. I love grapefruit flavored anything. Fucking anything, right? Grapefruit candy, grapefruit soda. You know I like me a squirt. Like, I've been vocal. I've been vocal about my love of squirt. Anything,
we have a squirt themed shirt on the TeePublic. So
yeah, squirt shirt. Yeah, we got a squirt shirt over there.
Except for it's called
Actually,
Splurt.
it says splurt. Yeah. And you know, anything. I eat a lot of grapefruits themselves. I drink a lot of gin and grapefruit juice. I love a grapefruit. This beer went away for a while and they just brought it back, and I was very, very excited to learn that. This beer, if you drink it like just ice cold on a fucking summer day, like this is such a summer crusher for me. I drink a lot of it. I also like, what is it? Schopenhofer has one, and Stiegel has them too. And I like those ones as well, although they're a little sugarier, but they're so low alcohol. They're like one of them's like 2%. One of them's like 2.5% ABV. They're super low alcohol. They're more of like a traditional shandy in the sense that it's like half beer, half whatever juice, right? This is just a straight up grapefruit beer. Like, it tastes like a shandy, but it's actually, the ABV of a standard beer. It's like 4.2%. So you could actually catch a buzz drinking some of these, whereas the other ones, you could drink about 40 of them and you feel like you're never gonna get drunk. You're just peeing.
Yeah, so, Leinenkugel's made for Americans, and those other ones aren't made for Americans. They don't understand. Americans don't understand the idea of like a breakfast beer or a beer just for walking around. Like, we've turned drinking into such an event rather than just a thing you should do every day because. Yeah. It's not like I am thirsty and I would like a beer. Like I got a beer and I need to catch a buzz from it. Pretty quick. Which, listen, God bless the USA. That's all I'm saying. That's where I'm at. I'm drinking on some grapefruit shandy over here. I was excited to grab a 12 pack because I'm like, hey, it's looking nice out. It's summery. Well, here we are on the 10th of March, and it is fucking snowing and freezing. Hell yeah. And pissed off about it over here. I'm not. I'm into it. Nah, you're into it. Yeah, listen, I'm okay with it for a while, but once you get a couple tastes of those like 55, 60 degree days, I'm fucking donezo. I'm fucking donezo with the snow. Speaking of being donezo, that's how I feel about this fucking movie as well. About 5 seconds into it. Again, like I said, we're talking about Camp Blood 666 Part 2, Exorcism of the Clown. Again, Tubi Roulette situation here. So we didn't know what we were getting. I'd never seen this movie. Steve, I know you had never seen it either. Just general thoughts going into it. So our listeners know, what your temperature is on this shit before we jump into it. Well, it was one of those things where, again, like I said, I have a tangential knowledge. And as soon as I saw David Sterling's name, or rather the Sterling Entertainment pop up, I go, "Uh-oh, I'm in trouble." I'm the Ralph Wiggum meme.
I'm in danger.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, you're not in good hands. You kind of know you're not in good hands at that point. Like I said, this was made in 20 and 23, so this has not been that long. You got this guy, Will Colazo Jr. Not only is he the director, he also is one of the characters in the movie. He plays, if I'm not mistaken,
he plays the clown.
The clown,
he
right?
Plays
the clown / Corey. Is that what it is? Rory? Corey?
Ari.
I forget. Ari, that's right. Who fucking cares? But he plays that character as well. This is a movie that it lies somewhere between. If I could use a couple of movies we've talked about recently, it's not quite to the depths of shittiness as like a fish piss, right? Mm-hmm. This is a movie.
Sure. Yeah.
It's a movie. It has a story. There are lines, although much of it was improvised, certainly. It has lines. It has characters. There were costumes, aside from just like a green suit and a mask. You know, there was production involved, albeit, scant. Yeah. It's not fish piss level, but it's not something like, or even Blood Harvest, right? It's not something like that.
Yeah, it's not as good as Blood Harvest. Quote, good. It's not as good as Blood Harvest, but it's not as bad as fish piss. Yeah. But it's not even as high of a production as like Blood Harvest, but it is slightly higher production value than fish piss. Yeah. So you get an idea of where we're lying here. I think it's just an easy kind of like a scaling of budgets in this case, because I think Blood Harvest is probably like $100,000 movie, if I have to guess. Maybe more, probably. Because like actual film developing back in the day was pretty expensive. But
might have been $250,000 movie.
But it's around that. This, literally on the IMDb trivia, says this movie was filmed or it might not be on the trivia, but it was in a review I was reading, and it says this film was filmed in 4 days and cost $10,000. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 4 days actually is a little longer than I expected the shoot to be. But yeah, I could see where it might, you could stretch it into 4 days.
And then
$100,000. I'm like, where'd that go? Where did that $100,000 go?
No,
I mean,
10,
I guess they had to pay $10,000.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds better. For some reason, when you said 10, I heard 100 because I was just thinking about what you said, I guess. Blood Harvest. So I was like, there's no fucking way this thing costs $100,000.
And then
okay, that makes more sense.
And then scaling Fish Piss was probably filmed over a weekend with $100. So it's just like
maybe. Yeah,
it's just it so scales.
It's you said exactly. There is a logarithmic increase in terms of the production costs associated with these movies. This movie. Obviously an intriguing title. I knew we were going something really low budget with Camp Blood. The fact that part 6 has a part 2, I do appreciate. But then after the colon, where you get into Exorcism of the Clown, it feels like when they made this movie, they came up with that title and they were like, hell yeah, brother. And then they made the movie, and then they got to the last 2 hours of the shoot. Everybody was getting really tired, and they were like, shit, we forgot the exorcism part. And they hurried up and threw an exorcism in there, because that's not really part of the story at all.
No.
Like, if you said this was terror at the RV park, like, that would be a more accurate representation of what we're experiencing here. Like, someone that they know lives probably year round in an RV park, right? And they probably didn't have permission, but knew the person in charge was just drunk enough or on vacation, or didn't care at all, where they could get away with just like some guerrilla shooting around the RV park for a few days.
Or it's off season and nobody's up there for vacation.
True. It's just the lifers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. I mean, when it started out, I was like, hey, okay. First of all, they say it's a Halloween movie. It takes place on Halloween or right around Halloween. However, the only thing that would suggest that is in this quote unquote bar that is a reoccurring setting. There is just several small Halloween decorations set about.
And some green lights.
Yeah, there's nothing else Halloween-y about it.
No.
But let's jump into the story. There's not a ton of story. Actually, the majority of the story is explained in the first 20 minutes, and then the rest is just kind of like tripping over that story for another hour.
I honestly couldn't tell if this movie had a lot of lore or no lore. I was so I don't know. It's just because it's a badly made movie. I just couldn't focus as well as I should have. And a lot of stuff was just bouncing off of me. And there's two clowns and they hate each other, but I don't understand why. Was this explained?
I don't understand
at some point?
why there were two clowns.
Was this in part one? And I think part of that is because we're jumping into part 2 of episode 6.
Yes.
And I know we want to jump into the movie, but I just want to start. Can we go back to the timeline of how these movies go?
Yes,
because this is It's a
There's
huge
not a lot
franchise
to talk about here, so anything we can do to really pad out this discussion, let's do it.
So the first movie was released in 2000, and it goes Camp Blood 2, both in 2000. 2005 is Within the Woods, aka Camp Blood 3. And then 2014 is Camp Blood First Slaughter, aka Camp Blood 3. So there's 2 Camp Blood 3s out there.
Hell yeah, love it. And there's a lot of different people involved throughout the years too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's like I said, there's a rotating series of directors, but they all are produced by David Sterling for the most part. And David Sterling has this stable of directors that he works with. Mark Polonia has directed a couple of these films, and people may recognize Mark Polonia's name as a director who's been doing this schlock since the 80s. Him and his brother John directed Feeders and Feeders 2 back in the day. So yeah, he's just been doing this shit forever, and now they've gotten younger guys to start doing it as well. It's they've tricked them into their drug den, I guess.
Yeah, they sucked him in.
Yeah,
they gave him the first taste for free and sucked him in.
Yeah. So 2016, that's Camp Blood 4, 5, and 666 all come out in 2016.
Hell yeah, makes sense.
2017 and 18 are Camp Blood 7 and Ghost of Camp Blood, which are directed by Mark Polonia.
Yeah.
Camp Blood 8 Revelations comes out in 2019.
I'm so happy they did throw a Revelations in there, though.
Right? It's so good.
Yeah.
2020, Children of Camp Blood. But that must be a side story because it doesn't get a number. Then 2023, as we're saying, Camp Blood 666 Part 2, Exorcism of the Clown. That's Will Colazzo's first debut as a director on this series. But he also has upcoming Camp Blood 9, Bride of Blood.
Bride of Blood, sure. Next one, can we guess what the next one, Camp Blood 10, is going to be?
Well, now here's the problem, because they have something listed, and I don't know if it's meant to be 10. I assume it's going to be 10, but it's Camp Blood X, animated.
Oh, boy.
So it might be, the 10th one might be animated, and you can watch a trailer for it. And I watched the trailer for it, and I almost shit my pants. I didn't know what I was expecting.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought it was going to be shitty Flash animation.
Yeah.
That's not where we're at, though. I have to remember, Steve, it's 2024. It's all fucking Unity assets. It's video game. It's the shittiest video game assets.
It's like that FPS movie. Did you watch that on Tubi? It's like a horror movie. It's basically like a movie made to look like Doom, kind of.
Okay.
It's called like FPS : first person shooter. I think it's literally what it's called, or something like that. I forget. It's from a few years ago. You can find it on Tubi. That's what I'm imagining the quote unquote animation to look like.
It's probably cheaper than that. It's more like, do you remember when we, like, I think it was Adult Swim kind of putting them up, but it was like supposed to be the Taiwanese news explainer.
Oh, yeah. They used to do that on like Conan or something too, I think.
Yeah. It was either Conan or Adult Swim, one of the two, but it's that level. It's that level of animation.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sure. Hey, listen. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I was just expecting Resurrection to come up at some point. Like that's, if they've already got a what was the other one? Retribution. Revelation, Retribution, Resurrection. All these things are going to come up at some point.
Maybe that's all right. Maybe that's Camp Blood 666 Part 3 Resurrection.
Yeah. I could see that. Well, like you said, there is some lore here in the sense that Camp Blood 666. So Camp Blood is a summer camp where people get killed. So it is very much parodying Friday the 13th and movies of that ilk, camp slashers. But there's, as you might imagine, there's a clown involved, right? This one starts out and really one of the main kind of themes here is that this camp, right, that obviously people were murdered at during Camp Blood 666 by clowns, has now become one of these like modern true crime tourist attractions where people go to visit the camp because they are, true crime fanatics or like murder tourism kind of thing, right? I think we did an episode way back in the day when Meg, went to like the murder museum or whatever, and like this is a thing, right? So people come to this town, they want to come to the camp. There is also a gentleman who we'll talk about later, Theo, who's the best character in the movie by a long shot. He has reopened a camp. Originally he says he reopened Camp Blood as a new camp, and it's all about it's like a high-end camp ground or like glamping situation, right? But then it turns out it's just a camp up the road, and he's just kind of using this as like publicity, like a publicity stunt kind of. But anyway, that's essentially what happens. So you got these murder tourists who show up. There's this like goth girl and her just like schlubby boyfriend, right? And the first scene, they're in the car and she's just getting really horny about murder. And that's the joke, right? She's real horny about murder. They go into this bar, which is clearly like someone's hunting cabin or fishing cabin or something, or perhaps it's like it's like a not an Elks Club, but maybe like a local Grange type situation where you would hold like a graduation party, or it could just be somebody who has like a slightly larger, I wouldn't say nice, but like a slightly larger, like hunting or fishing camp. Right? Yeah. And there's a bar in there. Somebody has put an old bar in there, and this acts as their bar setting. This is the small town bar in the town where Camp Blood happened. And you've got this murder tourism happening. So they show up, and they're asking about the wacky clown murders and all this stuff. And you get flashbacks, which I was so on board right off the bat, because you're getting these flashbacks and it is almost acting as it's the bartender telling the story. It almost feels like a little mini clip show at first. And I was like, wait, is this going to be like just a clip show of the other movies?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought we were getting Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2.
Yeah, I thought we were getting a little clip show situation. And it was showing clips from the rest of the movies, and it's just like clowns stabbing like naked women, and just like some actually like pretty respectable practical effects, like lots of boobies, some one sick ass Wisconsin accent. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I am in for all of this stuff. But then it turns out that was really the peak. And that was like them showing the best scenes from the other movies. And now this is just going to be mostly dog poop. This bar, they come into, there's just like this conversation about like, the boyfriend just wants to get drunk. The girlfriend is being really pushy with the bartender to tell her all the stories about, inside scoop stuff about the murders. Ultimately, they're like, let's go, let's leave. This is lame. Let's go fuck. They go outside. He's going to take a piss, or he is taking a piss. And then, of course, a clown shows up. He looks right. Everything's very well lit, we should say. So, the inside of the bar, fluorescent lights, right? Really brightly lit.
It is the brightest bar I have ever seen. And I just want to jump back for a quick second. One,
sure.
The first scene in the car, it starts with the worst audio I've ever heard.
It's really bad. Yeah.
And then the second scene in the bar has terrible audio as well. And she goes to a jukebox. Apparently somebody stole one of those My Choice jukeboxes. Yeah. Or, maybe I think this person who has this garage, they probably owned a bar at some point, and then the bar closed down and they kept the My Choice and the pool table. They're like, I paid so much for that, I ain't letting it go.
Yeah, this is not a bar, but it has some bar amenities.
Right. So she goes up and she goes to play music, and then it doesn't play any music. And so she's essentially just dancing to the HVAC system that you hear in the background.
It's very strange. They forgot to insert it. Yeah, I forgot about that. There's some crude jokes about when he thinks that she's coming back because she wants him to piss on her or something.
Yeah.
But then it's just a clown who just just shows up and murders them both. and then you quickly realize you're getting CGI blood. And you're like, fuck, this is the level that we're seeing, the CGI blood. But then I was still kind of on board because he sticks a machete or a hatchet or something in the guy's head and then pulls out his tongue and cuts his tongue off. And it was just really corny and bad effects, but it was just so gratuitous that I was like, okay, I don't know. Maybe it still might be fun.
The other part of this that made me I rewound it just because I saw the CGI blood. I just wanted to confirm that I saw that because it's such a bad effect that you can miss it if you don't see it. But just the whole way he plays it out of the guy getting killed, he just turns around and he's like, "Hey, I heard you had your liquor license." Just the way he does that is so cartoonish and stupid. And I was like, oh wait, he knows he's in a bad movie. I was like, oh, okay, great. He knows he's in a bad movie. This is awesome. And then the hatchet to the head, and it's just a terrible blood spray. And I was like, okay, this is funny, and I'm on board.
Yeah.
But then there aren't enough of those scenes.
No, it really peaks right here, honestly, because he then goes and similarly does something similar to the girlfriend who's on a fire truck for some reason. I don't know, but she goes, I'm dying. Oh man, that's what it feels like. So it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke about her being obsessed with death and murder and all that stuff.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, this might be a little tiny bit fun. You get a credit sequence and a title screen that pretty much explain to you the suite of editing assets that they have, and you're like, this is going to be rough. It's going to be rough going, but
it literally gets a thanks in the credits. They thank the Envato elements, and it's a stock library. I use it for clients from time to time. So it's just a stock library of things that you download that have already been pre-built by Russians, who are trying to make a buck.
Yeah, it's just hey, here's a transition. Here's a little blood spray. Here's a fire. Whatever. Mm-hmm. There are no real actors, right, in this movie.
No.
They're just a bunch of people the director knows saying lines.
People the director knows, but also I would point out a lot of them are also Kickstarter people.
Oh, people who contributed to the Kickstarter.
Yeah, especially when you get the scenes of people who are on TV doing news reports and stuff, because they're supposed to be filmed on green screen. Mm-hmm. And it's just varying qualities. Like it's a bunch of people on their phone just trying to like record something because they don't know what they're doing. They know they know less than these filmmakers.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. Is this was shot on 4 different cameras and 8 different phones. Like it's just there are so many scenes that are just like shoved in there that are dramatically different quality. And you could tell he was like, now I didn't. That makes total sense, the Kickstarter aspect of it. But I was like, who are these people and why did he say, text me a pretend interview? Like, and that's what they did. They shot on their phone and texted it to him and he put it in the movie.
Yeah.
So like you say, Camp Blood's reopening. Apparently the clown's father, Ari, his father, had like a satanic cult. Okay, so this clown it's a Thorn type situation, like it's a Cult of Thorn type situation, like from Halloween 5 and 6. So the clown is kind of controlled by the cult to some degree, or was. But now there's a witch involved who I think was part of the cult. Also, the witch is controlling him. And Ari, who is the clown. So, you know, if Michael Myers is the shape and is controlled by Cult of Thorn perhaps 4, 5, and 6, then that's kind of what this is. And it's Ari, and he is the killer clown, and he's controlled by this Camp Blood cult or whatever. My favorite characters, maybe besides Theo, and scenes were with the cop, and cops, plural. You mean
Sheriff Obama?
Yeah, the sheriff is the best. The way he delivers lines is so like stilted and robotic and awkward and nervous. And everything is shot in different RVs, pretending it's, buildings. So like the police station is just like someone's RV that they have like a desk in. The cop meeting in the RV is really, really quality. I will also say that there are so many fucking characters. We don't know who any of them are. It's nonsense. We're like, some of them, it feels like we're supposed to know who they are. Others we're not. But like Steve said, there's all these clips early on, and they're supposed to be shown as like they're like talking head kind of not pundits, but like people in the true crime / maybe YouTubers and stuff like that that are like, did you hear they're reopening Camp Blood? Boy, and they just keep showing all these people, and some of them are just talking into their phone and uploading it. Others are like doing full-on characters. Like there's one guy who's doing like a Lemmy type of thing. Yeah. There's another guy who's supposed to be a TV reporter. He's clearly holding a like child's karaoke microphone, and he has a suit jacket on, and the suit jacket is leather. So you could tell that they were like, you're going to be a TV reporter. And he was like, oh, okay. And he was like, just put like a like a suit jacket on.
It's my nicest jacket.
And they were like, he was like, oh, I have one. It's leather. And they're like, it's all right. Like, and he just, it's pretty tremendous. So you got a lot of that type of stuff. Ari, I mean, is the clown, and his mom's like having bad dreams. The one who plays his mom, what's her name? What's the character's name?
Oh, I just knew her as Drunk Mom.
Yeah, I just put in mom. She is everything to me. Just as a human, she is the love of my life. She's fantastic. She just goes hog wild in every single scene. She acts her freaking face off. She shows more emotion in every single line than every other person in the movie combined. She's fantastic. I will give all the kudos in the world to her.
It's like it's one of those things where it's like I can't tell she's in on the joke, and I wonder if she is like Like she's the one that lives at that camp, like we were talking about. Like
I
she's
think
the
so.
one that has the access to the camp, so they gave her a role.
Well, it's funny because she gives those vibes, right? She lives in an RV park vibes.
Right.
I'm not talking the character. I'm talking the performer.
The person.
Yeah.
Like there's okay. So again, as we're saying, like most of the people just wear their clothes to set. There's no costuming department. Right.
Right.
So there is a scene where she is having a screaming match with one of the cops in the bar, and her top is cut so supremely low. It's not conservative at all, and her nipples are sticking out through her shirt as she's having this drunken screaming match, and it's just like that is 90% of like Pennsyltucky. Like yeah. And
you know what the thing about it is if all of this is true, which I expect that it is, she's still by far the best actor.
Oh yeah, because she's put her whole ass into it. Yeah,
best performance by far of anyone. So like I said, just all the respect to her, because everyone else is either tongue in cheek or is just so nervous to be on camera. They're constantly just spiking the camera, looking right down the barrel, and she is just. Even though she is someone's like drunk aunt from the RV park, she somehow is just a fucking consummate professional and is just acting circles around everybody. And I love her for it. You have this witch lady who, you know, like I said, makes the clowns do stuff and is like, destroy the pretender and all this stuff. It's like, it doesn't matter. None of this matters. The conversation when between the sheriff and the mom, in the quote unquote police department, you know, in the sheriff's office, which is, again, it's an RV. And I imagine she lives there. In my mind, that's her RV, like the actress who plays the mom. And like, you could tell, like, they just took all the precious moments off, like, out of the case just to shoot, you know, like, why would there be precious moment figurines in the police station? Right. So we got to take this down to shoot. Like Boyd bears everywhere, but she just is, like I said, acting her ass off. And then you have the sheriff who is just like saying lines in the most robotic way possible. The conversation is hilarious. It's such a juxtaposition. It's like anti-acting. Yeah. Like it's like some sort of weird acting exercise they're doing. And I could just watch those two talk to each other all day long.
It's so good. And I could not tell if the Ranger, it's not until later that I think I kind of came down on the side that he knows that he's doing bad. And so like he's doing bad on purpose, but it's not until the scene that he's killed. I'm like, I think he knew that he's not good and that he was doing bad on purpose.
The sheriff?
Yeah.
I'm up in the air. I'm not convinced yet. I'm not convinced yet.
Yeah, it's the way he holds his gun and the way
he holds his gun is very funny.
And the way
how do you describe it? It's okay. One arm that holding the gun straight out at a perfect, fully extended 90-degree angle from his body, and then his other arm, if I
cupping
recall,
his elbow. Yeah.
Cupping his elbow at perfectly perpendicular to his other arm. And Steve, I'm not convinced he didn't think that's how a cop would hold his gun. It's too specifically weird. You know what I mean?
It is too specifically weird, which is why I think he did it on purpose, because it's too specifically weird.
If he did it on purpose, he's a genius.
Yeah.
Like a comedic genius.
Yeah. Either he did it on purpose, or the director told him to do it that way, which I think the director might be funny enough to do it as well, to tell him to do it that way. Because
it is very funny.
The other thing that happens in that scene is just the way he turns around while being harassed by the clown is so, like, it's so robotic and tank-like. Like, it might as well have just had like a.
Well, that's what I said. I wrote down, he looks like a PlayStation 1 NPC. Like he's just walking, like the walking motion, but instead of him being progressed forwards, he's just spinning in place, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's tank controls.
He moves He moves like the original Resident Evil games.
He is an NPC on Resident Evil. That is exactly what I was imagining. Yes, or a zombie on Resident Evil. So the glamping part of this is they obviously had access, and it probably was in the same RV park. Somebody has like a yurt, right? Which is like, imagine like how do you describe a yurt? It's halfway between like a circus tent and a teepee. Like that's kind of what a yurt is.
That's it. Yeah.
I actually stayed in a yurt, Airbnb yurt one time when I traveled for work. I thought it would be cool. It was on Airbnb. I was like, hell yeah, sure. There's like a little wood burning stove and you stay in there. And it was kind of cool. I got real high. I slept in this yurt.
Nice.
It's just a big fancy tent. And it's like semi-permanent, right? So like people keep these up all the time. And they have like a wood structure to them sometimes on the inside as well. So they can resist some weather and that sort of thing. But then the one guy and his girlfriend who get killed in the yurt are literally, he ends up being found with one of those like almost those things you put over your head that make it look like there's a knife through your head. You know, those like headbands, like that's what they do. That's what he's wearing when they find him.
It's the Steve Martin arrow through the head gag.
Yes, but with a machete. So this is like most of the props are, and I'm not even saying this to be dramatic or make fun. They are very clearly just, you know, Halloween store props.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are Spirit Halloween props. Anyway, so, you know, Camp Blood is reopening as this glamping area. This church group shows up, right? So you get introduced to this church group, and there's the pastor, and there's like several other people. It's just like, I don't know how else to describe it. And I don't mean this in a mean way, but it's just like this just dumpy group of people that are just like hanging out. I mean, literally, there's one guy who like through half the scenes, his like belly is hanging below his shirt. And it's like, that's fine, man. No disrespect, but like you're in a movie. You know what I mean? Like if you're just out and about at Starbucks and you reach up and your belly's hanging below your shirt, that, you know, listen, that happens. But like you're in a movie. This is a movie. Yeah. So it's on the internet for people to see.
Yeah. I understand this problem because I am both fat and tall. So like,
sure,
I need to get that tall designation on the shirts. I can only shop at the DXL if I want something that fits properly.
Yeah.
So otherwise I would raise up. If I go to take something off the top shelf at Walmart, a little bit of belly is going to come out.
Sure.
I get that. But you're also absolutely right that one, you have to protect yourself when you know that about yourself. And two, the director's an asshole for not protecting him either and not making sure that his belly isn't coming out on Tubi.
I know. He did him so dirty. He just did the poor guy so dirty. And like, yeah, it's disrespectful. So this group, none of them have ever acted before. I feel except for perhaps the one woman who plays like I'm going to say like the party animal of the group, right? She's the one who's like hitting on dudes and getting fucked up and puking and all that stuff. Well, another girl does that too, but like the one that doesn't last as long, like the one that dies earlier and who hits on the survivalist. We'll get to that scene here in a second. Yeah. She maybe has acted in something before. I could see, you know what I mean? Like it feels like she has a little bit more experience delivering lines to other people. She certainly shows a little bit more emotion for what it's worth.
Yeah, you would think that, but you can just go through all of their credits and they've all been in 15 different fucking Sterling films.
Well,
so, like,
okay, fine.
Yeah, they've been in a bunch of stuff. It's just that none of this stuff probably pays very well. Mm-hmm. Like if the budget's only $10,000, how many people are actually getting paid to act in this? So you just get the fans, and you know they're all fans of this schlocky movie, and it's this is where I come down on that. I think a lot of these films are produced in kind of the trauma way, and we've talked about this before about exploitative casting. Mm-hmm. And I believe that they are exploitatively casting people who desperately desire the want and need to be on camera, because they can get them for cheap and stuff. But at the same time, when you have the filmmakers doing a bunch of tongue-in-cheek shit, the filmmakers aren't taking it as serious as the cast is. And so there's a little exploitative disconnect there because not everybody's in on the joke. Yeah.
I can very much see that. Especially, like I said, especially with the church group folks. There is one, this is another, of the handful of entertaining scenes. This is one of them. You get this guy. Again, great character here. Standout character. You only see him for about a grand total of about maybe a minute to 90 seconds in the entire movie. But his name's Theo, and he's the guy he's like owns the clamping situation. And he's a fucking scumbag. And like, he's just talks like Glenn Danzig's uncle. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's like hitting on the pastor's girlfriend. He's just like a real Jersey trash bag. Later on, he's like peeping on them, jerking off in the window. Like he just really adds a lot of color to the whole production.
Can I read you a couple of his credits?
Please.
Just so you know how succinctly you nailed him. Yeah. One of his very first roles is on a TV series called Jersey Mafia Chronicles.
He talks like that. He just goes he goes, "Hey, this is a new place. Like, it's a classy place. You got the run. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. Come over here and talk to me. If you need something, fucking come over here. I'll fucking help you out. Don't be fucking dumb about it." But like, that's his whole shtick.
Yeah. His other roles include On the Streets with a Z. It's a film. He plays Tony, parentheses, Italian Mob.
Hell
The
yeah.
Streets 2, Big Tony. And The Streets 3, Boss Big Tony.
Hell yeah. And he plays the titular Tony, right?
Yeah, he just plays Big Tony and Boss Big Tony.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yes, I like this a lot. And I will actually probably watch these because I really, really like Theo and what he does with this character. I mean, it's just, especially when there's just like, we've just watched 20 minutes of people just delivering lines like this. I'm happy that we're here. We should stay here and do things here. Yeah, I agree. And then all of a sudden you get this guy coming in, bada bing, bada boom. Yeah. Hey, yo, whoa, whoop. And then you're just like, you're glued to him. You know what I mean? He sticks out like a sore thumb. Ain't no fucking
clowns around here. Stop telling people there's clowns.
What are you talking about? Hey, fucking X-nay on the clown shit. All right, my dude. Like, he's just being
X-nay on the ounklay.
He's just fucking, he's shining. He's shining.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they go to they go to the same, quote unquote bar. The church group shows up, and there's the one line I wrote down was like, she comes in, she goes, "Hello." Then the bartender goes, "Hello, it's a group of people." I don't know why she says it like that. It's such a bizarre line delivery. Again, these are just like the director's friends, right? So they're just talking their lines at each other at this bar. And a couple things about the bar scene that are just interesting decisions, right? First of all, they're all drinking, right? And clearly they didn't have enough shot glasses to make it look like a bar. So they've got like the little red Solo cup shot glasses. It was okay, fine, right? And then they're all drinking beer. And the quality is dog shit. And I'm sitting across the room watching it, right? And I'm like, what is that label on the beer? And so like, I got closer up, realized that all the beer bottles, instead of like putting a fake beer bottle label over them or just turning the labels the other direction, they scraped all the labels off the bottles. So everyone is always drinking beer out of a bottle. And all of the bottles are just like, have a bunch of the peeled label still all over them. And it's so distracting because it's just like, what, everyone's drinking from beer bottles with the label peeled off, but still all the like white glue and like residue of the paper behind. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. It's so weird. It just felt like you could have put a piece of white paper around it and taped it with freaking Scotch tape. It would have looked more natural, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I could have just, the mom, I could just watch her fake sip beer all day. She's just as great at fake drinking a beer. I loved it.
I was looking at her. Her character's name is Grace, but the actress is Erica Dyer. And apparently this was like the third movie she's ever acted in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
listen,
yeah.
she did a fucking stand-up job as far as I'm concerned. She has this flip out scene in the bar. It's just sick. She's screaming at the church group, and then the bartender's getting involved, and she keeps calling the church lady a nasty bitch.
Yeah.
She's like, well, fuck you, nasty bitch. It's just like Jerry Springer level screaming at each other. It's fucking great. It's really, really, I just love her. I just love her. I'm enthralled whenever she's on screen.
It's a real thing of like,
you nasty skank bitch. Just going off on her.
It's a real thing of like, you can tell she either is just a good actress or she's channeling something that she's done before. One of those two. And it is so stark against the other actresses, especially the ones like in this prayer group, because they don't know what to do with her energy.
Yes.
They can't match her energy as quickly as she can give it. Like she can go from 0 to 60, like that. And the rest of them are like, oh, am I supposed to be acting as hard as she is? And it's like, yes. You are.
They are scared of her on set, and rightfully so, because she definitely talked to somebody like that at Dollar General that day in her real life,
And she works at Dollar General.
At her place of work, she went fucking buck wild on somebody at Dollar Tree that day, just like that, called them a nasty bitch. And like, they are like, they're scared because they're like, is this real? Because we know she does this in her daily life.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is genuine experience. Like, she brings that level of energy because that's she gets shit done around the RV park.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that she is like conservatively like 50% of the people in her life call her Mama Bear in some way. Yeah. She's been to jail. There is a really, really couple of extraordinarily awkward scenes. Kate and I were watching this together last night, and she was like, typically when I watch something like this, she's on her phone, right? And she's just watching in the background, and then she'll hear me be like, and then she'll look up and see what's happening. Like, that's how this works sometimes. Either I go down in the basement and sit on the couch, put my feet up, put the little pretend fireplace on, and just start slamming some Coors Lights and just sit there by myself. Or if I don't feel like going downstairs, I'll sit in the living room, and like I said, she'll half watch and just hear me chuckle like a dipshit. This scene, she looked up during this awkward scene where everyone gets super drunk at the bar. They all go back to the yurt, and there's a weird scene where the two drunk girls, one of them has puked on herself. She puked on a guy's lap, which was this other kind of awkward scene where she's like hitting on this like older dude who apparently is like a forest firefighter or something. He just has like a reflective vest on. That's all. And she apparently pukes on him and herself. So they take her back to the yurt. And just like in that scene though, like she's faking puking. So she's just making the noises.
Yes.
And it's really unpleasant, but like the guy playing the fire actor, he like guides her head into his lap.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he like did like a creepy old man thing or if he's just like a stupid actor.
I think the joke was that she was coming on to him, obviously. And the joke was, he's like, it's like she's going down on him, but instead she's puking. And I think the joke was supposed to be, she's like she's like fondling him or something. And then she ends up, you think for a split second she's going to go down on, but then she pukes, but it just didn't play on screen. I feel like, or something like that.
Well, because then the scene ends with the bartender yelling about her being covered in puke.
Yeah.
So like she did puke. Like,
yeah. And then he does the old like check please type of line. I don't remember what it is, but it's just a gag that just didn't land at all.
Yeah, none of it works.
No, but they go back and then there's this really awkward scene of like the other girl like stripping off all of her clothes and putting her in the shower.
Yeah.
And so she's full frontal, just nude. The other girl is in the shower with her. And then they start doing like kind of kissing, but kind of not. And it's real awkward. And you're not really sure. Like the girl who's nude in the shower, like now she's acting drunk, but she also feels like as a performer was like into this happening. And the other girl's like, not like kind of feeling awkward on screen. It's very uncomfortable. It's extraordinarily uncomfortable.
Which is interesting because if we go to the IMDb trivia on this film, there's only a few pieces of trivia. Like
everyone was sued.
Everyone was sued. Yeah. Like this is the first Camp Blood to ever film at an actual campground. That's a piece of trivia.
Sure.
The other piece of trivia is Jamie Morgan initially resisted being nude in her shower scene with Heather Harlow. She eventually relented after director Will Colazzo convinced her it would be good for her career.
Who put that in there?
I don't know. But like of all the things you can add trivia about, like on all the films that go without trivia.
Yeah, that could have been left out.
Yeah.
It's super awkward. And then you get the scene that I mentioned before of Theo, peeping through the window, and as he's peeping, he gets a clown rolls up on him, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't 100% know what happens. I think he gets stabbed in the dick.
Yeah, sure.
But it like freezes him.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you were supposed to think he was like impaled up through the crotch.
Yeah.
But it's just like.
They just don't show enough to to make a distinction. Like, it's just, here comes the machete. And then, he probably has like, blood in his mouth. Like, that's how most people die in this film, is just like spitting blood out of their mouth.
Yeah. They don't show it. This would have been a great scene to like, hey, spend a little bit more time and effort on this kill. Cause he's the scumbag outside. You can be real mean with him. And also like, I don't know, just do it one more time. You did a little bit at the beginning of the movie and they don't really give much effort throughout the rest, but, so there's a really funny scene too here, which I almost wonder if it was a callback from earlier on, but the guy who plays the pastor is very straight-laced and like very stilted in the way his lines are delivered. Very like just shows very little emotion. And then there's a scene where the one guy who was just like hammered at the bar, who really doesn't play much of a part at all, besides they like put a silly wig on him when he's passed out or whatever. They get back to the yurt and he's there. And the pastor's like, "Oh, you're still here. Hey, whatever." Just start chatting with him. And the guy's like, "Yeah, this is weird. I'm going to go. I think I'm going to try to go back to the bar." And then the pastor's like, "Well, fuck you, motherfucker." And just like goes off on him. And like, just kind of just goes wild on him for like 2 seconds when he's leaving. I was like, was that a callback to something? It was just like completely the opposite of what his character was the whole rest of the movie. I
have no idea.
Know.
Like he calls him a mark ass heathen at one point, and I was like, that's kind of funny. Yeah. But like, it's so out of nowhere and so out of character too, that it's like, okay. I mean, I guess you got to laugh maybe from somebody. Yeah. I was like,
Yeah. And it's almost like one of those things like it's out of character for the person who plays is the for the actor.
Yeah.
So they're like, the joke is that it just feels like this movie was made for just like a small group of friends, what I mean, to watch.
Yeah.
Which it really in a nutshell, in a way it probably was, but
Yeah, I mean, it's made for this like small, I guess you could say it's almost juggalitic activity of
yeah.
There is just like this kind of cult following of people who like follow these filmmakers and these David Sterling films that all come out of, PA from Philadelphia, and like people just follow those films, and like they don't, I don't know, I feel like they maybe don't let everything into their lives that they should, that they put maybe a little too much, like bearing onto these films that because he also does like all that bullshit Amityville in space stuff. And like if he has another series, I think it's called like Axe Slasher or something like that. And then like anytime they do a 6th installment, it's always 666 of that installment. So it's, I see. It's just they know what they're getting, but also it's just like it's constantly eating at McDonald's. But if McDonald's was made by a meth head.
Yeah. It's almost like they all like, I feel like these people who are in this movie, like everyone on their like Reddit threads like knows them. They're like, it's this very little insular community, you know what I mean? Where these people would be more known in that very insular community of people who are friends of or fans of this franchise and this like community of filmmakers, which, hey, that's cool. I think that's a cool thing. But, I wonder if that was an inside joke or something. But anyway, the witch sends the clown to kill the pastor. That's pretty much what we know is happening. And again, that's really the last like plot point that happens in the movie. Again, this has to be a callback of some sort, because the girl with the black hair who is like has her boobs out all the time and is like, I mean, multiple people do, but like the girl who's like shaking her boobs around and stuff like that, who like I said has a little bit more emotion amongst the church group. She is just like she kind of sits back because they're like, we're gonna go pray or whatever, and she's like, I need to be in nature or whatever, and then she just hangs out and it just like slugs on some blue moons. Like she's like, basically, I'm just going to hang out and party by myself. Like I'm just going to get drunk by myself. And so she's just hanging out. And this guy rolls up and she's like, who are you? Like, whoa, who the fuck are you? And he goes, I'm a survivalist. And she goes, oh, okay, come party with me. And he goes, absolutely not. Like this has to be like that had to be a callback from something. Like, this random survivalist shows up and he's like, you got to get out of here. And she's like, no, come party with me. He's like, absolutely not.
Yeah. It has to be a callback or like a reference to somebody. So the person playing this character, and he's just credited as the survivalist, is also the cinematographer on this film. So yeah. I don't know if he's just
sure
playing
this character has to be a reoccurring character or something. There's no way it's not.
You know what? No, it isn't. Because on his IMDb, he this is his first acting credit. So this is his first time being on camera, and this also is his first cinematographer credit. And then he has Axe Grinder 7, New Blood, and Amityville Turkey Day, and Camp Blood 9. They're all upcoming probably within the next 3 months.
Yeah, maybe it was just like the survivalist character is a callback. Who knows?
I don't know.
I can only speculate.
Yeah, it's a strangely funny character though, because it just all of his line deliveries, like he's the most incelly, like obnoxious, character who just shows up, and he's just like it is impossible for it to not be based on something.
Yeah, he's like kind of exasperated too. Like he's like stressed out. It's clearly got to be connected to something. But this next scene is the funniest scene for me that I kind of laughed out loud actually at. The pastor is now going to be like the witch and or the clown are like trying to influence the pastor, not only to kill him, but they're asserting some sort of mind control on him, just to a fairly small degree. But at one point, they decide to make him all horny. And the pastor just gets this sudden like spout of horniness, and he starts looking at the girl who got naked in the shower earlier. He starts looking at her boobs, and you can like see her nipples through the shirt. So he's like ogling her, and she's like, "Come on, let's go," or whatever. And he turns around and gives just this like snidely whiplash bad guy look at the camera. Like he might as well be like tenting his fingers, and like, he just kind of does this like, like he just does this like this just old timey bad guy look. And it's really funny.
It feels like it comes out of nowhere because the rest of the time he is really flat affect. And really just like delivering his lines is just like speaking them word for word and not really like putting any kind of inflection for anything. So it's just like, it's so weird when he has these bursts of character of like, screaming Mark ass heathen, or also doing the, I'm going to get some pussy.
Yeah. He does it again here because he kind of goes on like a little, like he just kind of stumbles a little further, and we come to learn that his brother, by the way, I think we knew it at this point, but his brother died at Camp Blood. So that's why he's come back. His brother was one of the victims of the Camp Blood murders. They stumble on a sign for Camp Blood, which is just a 2x4 with Camp Blood painted on it. And he is shook. He is just, you get this full fake cry thing. It's just, like I said, this is his big tearjerker scene. And that's why this movie feels so weird, because there's so much tongue in cheek stuff, but then there's like people trying to really earnestly act that seems to have not given a fuck right up until this very point.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a bizarre juxtaposition. You never really get a full grasp on, are you trying or are you not trying? Right. You know what I mean?
It's just like, maybe like I said, like we said at the top, the film was filmed in 4 days. 4 days is hard for somebody to get temperamental. Like, like you have to be going through some major mood swings to be on point one day, and then 6 hours later you are just like, flat. I'm just not feeling it today. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it might be characteristic of the fact that they're symptomatic of the fact that they're not actual actors. I don't know, but it's just like wild inconsistencies. We get the last scene with the survivalist where he just goes, I think you texted me this earlier today. Oh crap, 2 clowns. And 2 clowns come out. Again, the clowns are just guys like wearing, like the one's just wearing like a pair of Nikes, right? They're just guys in just rubber clown masks, right? Just like everyday Spirit Halloween rubber clown masks. So you get the great line delivery of, oh crap, 2 clowns. And one of them, each of them grab one of his arms and then rip his arms off. Which is a fun scene. I'm not going to lie. And then
it's CGI blood splats.
CGI blood splats. Then you get just like a brief, very brief battle between perhaps the 2 least athletic people in the world. And they are fighting with plastic, Halloween decorations. One of them, I think, has like a machete, and then one of them's got what looks like about 6 links of very large plastic chain that clearly has no weight to it, right? It's made of hollow plastic. The whole thing weighs like 6 ounces. You know what I mean?
It's something that would be either draped on a skeleton or a Frankenstein. It's not for violence at all.
No, it's not. It would be hanging off somebody's porch swing, with a foot connected to it, on Halloween.
Yeah, they literally break it, like hitting each other with it. So yeah, it's a piece of shit.
It's not even a Spirit Halloween. It's like dollar store level level props here. This fight, like I said, lasts like 20 seconds. One clown kills the other clown like really quickly. These clowns must have been characters in other movies, and then the clown that is Ari, I guess, overtakes him.
Yeah, this is what I figured out. It took me through the end of the movie to figure it out, but I figured it out. The clown that has the white face, he's the OG clown that was, I guess, maybe resurrected by a cult at some point.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so, like, that's our Michael Myers Thorn clown. And then Ari is under the spell of the witch, and the witch either just hates the cult or she was part of the cult and then hated the cult because they kicked her out or something. So she made her own clown.
Gotcha.
And so that's the green face clown, and that's why they fight.
Gotcha.
I think.
Which clown wins? I don't even remember. Like, they both just look like dumpy guys in clown masks.
So in this fight, the green face clown wins.
Yeah, Ari wins. Whatever one Ari is, he wins. Yeah.
And then when the white face clown gets resurrected at the end, we're supposed to get all hyped because it's like, oh shit, my OG Holmes is back.
Oh my god.
The original Mr. Sinister, the box of mysteries has been opened.
Exactly. It's like no one cares unless you watch all these movies, which no one has. Like, I couldn't have cared less. I'm just like, give me more Grace. Get me back to Grace. I want to see Grace lose it on some people. And she does that. We get right back to that. She gets back and she gets into it with the bartender or something. She's like, I will fight her. Fuck you. She gets a really great, like, just venomous fuck you out, which you know how much I love a really high quality fuck you. And Grace just fucking delivers it. She just delivers it. She does not disappoint. This is what I'll say about Grace is that bitch don't miss. She don't miss. She is 100%. She is going to flip the fuck out on you, and you're going to remember it. Yeah, she has more emotion just than everyone else combined. I wrote down a note now here that I don't know what I meant. Was it?
Sure.
Oh, isn't there a Bridget? Isn't one of them's named Bridget? Which one's Bridget?
Bridget is the lady with the big boobs. He keeps showing them off to everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. They come in. This is what I remember is they come in and she's been killed, I think, in the yurt. And the one guy comes in, I think it's the belly guy who gets done dirty. He comes running in and he keeps calling her name's Bridget, but he keeps calling her Bridget. And I was like, I was a little toasted. This is Saturday night. You know, I was about 5 beers deep at this point. And he comes in and goes, oh my God, Bridget, are you okay? And I just started laughing my tits off. Oh my God, Bridget, are you okay? Bridget. So that's what my note meant. I just remember what I meant by that note. Oh my God. Oh, I just wrote OMG Bridget in my notes. Yeah, this is when, like I said, our church friend with the belly, the bottom of his shirt. I don't, like I said, I feel bad for him. We were watching it, but all the dialogue scenes between the church group are like not only just poorly acted, obviously, like we've mentioned that, but the dialogue is constantly contradicting itself.
Yeah.
They'll say something and then the very next sentence say the exact opposite. It's just like the dialogue just feels like it's filling time. And this like portion of the movie, this like spawning towards the end, this is where like Kate was actually kind of watching. And whenever these two are talking and the guy's belly's out and all this stuff, I was laughing, and Kate Kate's just like kind of looking and just like shaking her head in disgust. And I go, I'm just like I'm just chuckling. I'm just pissing myself laughing. I was like, what do you think about this one? And she just looks at me and goes, I hate you. Just in such just venom. She was so mad that this was on the TV. And then I laughed harder because she just unequivocally just said, I hate you.
I hate you.
Another great scene. I actually think this is when she said, she told me she hated me, is when they walk into the woods and there's just like a Halloween decoration on a tree. It's just like a spooky ghost or something on a tree. And the one guy goes, oh my God, this must be where the cult is, because there's a spooky Halloween decoration. They're like, oh, the cult must not be far away or something.
They don't even take the time or respect to show you that it just looks like a fucking black rag on a tree. Like, it doesn't even look like anything. It just looks like a black rag.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's baffling what you're even looking at. I did want to point out that also right before that is probably my favorite part, when he I think it's right after, but he goes up to that barrier and just kicks it over.
Kicks over the barrier. Yeah, that's great. Like, it definitely hurt his foot. Like,
yeah.
Or I was expecting his shoe to fly off, because this is the kind of guy who definitely doesn't tie his shoes.
I mean, yeah, the backs of his soles are definitely stepped on a lot.
Yeah.
But it's just they give him just that little action scene to just run up and kick over a barrier, and then like they probably had to quickly replace it too. So they're like,
we're gonna get in trouble. We're about to get in trouble. Yeah. Right after this is when we get our sheriff just spinning around with the gun, to going, where are you, you son of a bitch? He's just spinning around with the gun like an NPC on PlayStation 1 game. And then
he's so dead-eyed.
Yeah, he's just, I like to believe, you might be right, he might be in on it, but I like to believe that this is him acting at full capacity. I choose to believe that. Yeah,
you might be. I'm totally willing to say you might be right on that, and that it's just the director told him to do something. Like, the director told him to spin around with the gun, and it was so perfect that he changed the scene a little bit around just so he could focus on that more. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, wait, this is perfect. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Let me take advantage of that.
The thing I like to pretend is that he's so worried about a very specific thing, which is like his blocking. Like he has to, he's worried he's going to step outside of frame.
Yes,
and the director was like very keen of that you need to stand here. But then he's like, do more. And he's like, okay, so I have to stay in one place, but I got to do more. So he just chooses to spin in place.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of a time in playing football in high school. My friend, Ryan was the punter, and he's not a football player, he's a soccer player, but he was like, you get like a soccer player to come be the kicker or the punter or whatever, right? Couldn't give a shit less about football. We just come to practice for like special teams, and we had just some asshole coach, who's just like yelling and stuff. And then you get Ryan, and he's in the end zone, and the coach is like, okay, so Ryan, what do you do if it's a bad snap in the end zone? And I think what he meant for him to do is just like, hey, just make sure it gets out of the back of the end zone and just take a safety rather than it being a recovered fumble for a touchdown by the defense,
right.
But instead, he just goes, Ryan, what do you do if it's a bad snap in the end zone? And Ryan's holding the ball, and he just is looking at him blank face because he has no fucking idea, right? He's not a football player, he doesn't care at all.
Yeah.
And he goes, what do you do? Like, he's just like put him on the spot, and Ryan's holding the ball. And for those of you at home, you're going to see this. And he just slowly raises it above his head. And everyone started laughing. We still bring this up to this day. It's just such a funny thing to just hold the ball above your head. And I'm just imagining this sheriff. He's like, do more, stay in your spot, but do more. And he's just like, and he just starts panicking and spinning in circle.
It's just like with his gun with his arm and his elbow.
Yeah. Oh man.
Fuck.
So the witch now has the naked girl in the tent, whatever. the pastor and his buddy come in and they walk into the tent. Oh, we did tell you that the bartender has a showdown with the clown where she pulls a shotgun out and doesn't do anything with it, quickly gets it taken from her. And then we get which movie is that? Is that part 5 where Michael Myers stabs somebody through with a shotgun? But in any case,
is that 5 or 6?
Yeah, it's one or the other. But anyway, we don't see it, but she does get stabbed with a shotgun. Anyway, now we're back to the tent, and some sort of, the witch is doing some wild shit. The pastor and them show up, and the girl on the bed is like, obviously pastor is they're kind of using her as like bait, kind of, I guess. I don't know. And she's like, "Come fuck me now, pastor." And he's like, "Hell yeah." And he comes in, pops his shirt off, big guy, right? So he pops it in there and just lays on top of her. And there's this real awkward sex scene of them just like him just kind of squirming around on top of her. It's tough. It's a tough one. Everyone, you can see the real genuine awkwardness in the performer's eyes too. Like It is awkward for everybody. The mom walks in with a Bible and is like, "Remember your brother and the Bible." And he's like, "Oh, hell yeah, you're right." And then he's cool again. Now he's out of the mystical, spell she had on him.
She comes in with such an energy too that is different from everything else. Like, I know we've been talking about like how easy she's set off, but
yeah,
she comes in with the energy of that she's been a part of the group the entire time.
Yes. Like that she comes in like, "I know everything about you. You're a pastor. I know the depth of your faith and all that." Yeah.
Yeah. She comes in like she rode up in the van with them to the camp. But it's not that at all. She just comes in like super friendly and like understanding, and like this is the other.
Cussed them out in the bar like 5 seconds ago. Yeah.
This is the other half of Mama Bear, where like she's giving you pigs in the blanket. Like she's still got like she's got the nice part about her too. Like she'll cuss you out if you do her family wrong. Like she's the living embodiment of one of those skeleton on a motorcycle memes of like, "I'm loyal to 100% till you betray me, and then watch out."
Yeah, "I'll give you diabetes all day, but then when I'm mad at you, watch the fuck out." But yeah, so she sees her son, and and he's like, "Bye." Basically, she just takes off, and then the pastor chloroforms the clown with like a crucifix. I don't know. It's very hard to describe what happens unless I just missed it. He like puts something over his face, and I thought it was a crucifix, but the way it like covers his face and he goes down, it almost is like he was like chloroformed or something. He just puts the crucifix to his forehead.
Yeah. And then takes him down that way. So like, it's just doing an exorcism thing, but he's not. Yeah, he doesn't cover his mouth or anything. It's just like the sheer force of Christ through his brain.
Yes,
via little necklace.
Yeah,
knocks him out.
and flops him onto the bed. And then Ari, former clown son, is back, reunites with his mom. There's just chaos happening. Like, there's just so many things happening. There's so many people screaming simultaneously in the tent. So you've got Ari, you've got the mom, you've got the pastor, you've got the other guy, you've got the girl that had her boobs out earlier, and they're all just it's just a cacophony of just screaming and chaos in the tent right now. The other clown comes like is resurrected or whatever, stabs Ari through the tent into like his back with a machete, or no, and then like machete whips the mom. It's like pistol whips her, but with the handle of the machete, and then tries to get the pastor. What happens after this? I'm blanking on what happened. He tries to get after the pastor, and the girl, because he was gonna like he was going to join the cult, or what's happening?
No, he's trying to get them to join his cult. But what we get in the interim is like a flashback to Belly Guy getting the shotgun from the bar.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's totally insane because when the clown stabs other clown, when OG clown stabs Ari clown, in the yurt is like completely bathed in red, like red light. Like there's red light everywhere. When we come back to the yurt, like it looks completely normal. Like you can see the welcome home keychain that's up. You can see a TV is on as a light source, but it's turned to like HDMI 2 with nothing plugged in. It's fucking insane. And then Belly Guy comes in and shoots the clown.
He pops in with the gun and a CGI bullet. Shoots the clown again. His belly's hanging out again. And then the mom kills the witch off camera in what you think is going to be like a climactic ending, but it's an entirely separate scene. And you're like, oh, this is when she gets the revenge. The mom kills the witch that has been controlling her son, but it's just like a throwaway off camera scene where they're just trying to get it done. It's like, we got 2 hours till we got to be out of here, or we're going to get charged for another night.
Right.
The pastor, then we get the pastor and the and his buddy just like awkwardly hug on a beach, and then the credits roll. Just like, it's so abrupt.
It's so fucked. You did miss that the remaining ranger was in his truck.
Oh yeah,
doing a recap about how everybody died. But it's just a scene to be a scene. Like, it's just,
they're not showing anything. It's just him on the radio going like, guys, it's bad over here. Like, I mean, real bad. We're not going to show it because it's so bad, but just like, trust me, it's bad.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's so scary over here. Like, we might need the National Guard, I think he says at one point. But he's like, it's seriously so bad. Just trust me how bad it is. And then pastor and Belly Guy hug on a beach for some reason.
Yeah. My favorite thing, it's just such a weird little thing I noticed, but I watched it and he does it a lot, is the pastor, when he's standing around in his hoodie.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're going to say. He always has his hands up inside his sleeves. I saw it the very first scene when he was there, when they introduced the church group.
Yeah.
And he's standing there and he has it's like a nervous thing. He curls, he like makes his arms a little, she kind of crunches his shoulders up, makes his arms a little shorter and pulls them up into his like sweatshirt sleeve, like his hoodie or his jacket sleeve. It looks like a little kid, looks like he's a big dude. And he's making it look like he's a little kid, the way he's holding his shirt that's cold and like doesn't have gloves,
Yeah.
And he does it in this scene too, out on the beach. And it's just
it's even funnier in this scene because like he's holding his arms wide out, like he's like, accepting the sunlight to rejuvenate himself. And he's like doing that and his hands are in his sleeves. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing, bud? Nobody got that?
I forgot to write that down because I was cracking up when because he does this throughout the movie, throughout the movie. Oh man, nobody told him not to, which is fantastic. And then the credits roll and you just see everyone's Facebook photos, just everyone's Facebook profile photos popping up on screen during the credits. So
yeah, and then a bunch of the Kickstarter footages that weren't necessarily used throughout the rest of the movie, they still had to throw it in.
Yeah,
like there's one that's particularly bad that is like looks like it was filmed on a fucking flip phone or like an original Verizon chocolate, and it's like it's not filmed landscape. Like this dude did nothing correct.
Yeah. I stopped watching at this point. Like I was just like, I'm good. I don't need to see anybody else talking to their phone. But yeah, listen, here's what I'll say about Camp Blood 666 Part 2, Exorcism of the Clown. There's a camp.
Yeah.
There's an exorcism.
Yeah.
And there's clowns.
Yeah.
Also, this is a movie.
Yeah.
They made a whole movie. They put it together. They edited it. It is a complete film. Whether it's good, whether they cared if it was good, whether the people who are in it should have been in it. It is a movie, and they made a movie for $10,000. Good on you. I love that you've done this. I have respect for you for having done this. And this is the difference between this and Fish Piss, in my mind. Is this a good movie? Certainly not. Will I ever watch it again? Certainly not. But it has its audience.
Yeah.
And clearly people want to support it.
Sure.
He's got all these Kickstarters and supporters of it. So there's a community that enjoys it. There's a community that wants it. There's definitely some moments that I enjoyed. I laughed out loud at a couple scenes. I got to watch the mom lose her shit on screen. That was entertaining. Mm-hmm. That's the difference between this and Fish Piss, because Fish Piss was none of those things.
There is, I'll say, like, in comparison to Fish Piss, this movie is infinitely more riff tracksable.
Sure.
As just like, there's so many, like we were mentioning, there's so many little things that aren't, they're just mistakes, but there are also genuine things that are, funny or entertaining. Yeah. And like
it's because things happen.
I was just about to say that. Exactly. Things happen. Yeah. Things happen. Like, they don't make sense. It's not coherent for the most part, but kicking down the barrier is hilarious. Hands in the sleeves is hilarious. You can watch this film and do like a belly counter every time you see a belly take a shot, like,
yeah, it's funny because things happen, and those things are bad mostly, but they happen. In Fish Piss, so little happens.
Yeah.
And you have to listen to the stupid dialogue to get anything. Otherwise, it's just two douchebags sitting in their basement. You know what I mean? Like, so, listen, do I suggest you watch it instead of something else? No. But if you want to get high and sit in your basement and make fun of a movie with your friends, you could do a lot worse than Camp Blood 666 Part 2, Exorcism of a Clown.
Yeah.
I get the feeling some of the previous Camp Blood movies are more entertaining. So I would suggest maybe watching them first. And then if you develop a liking for or some sort of connection with this franchise or its performers, then you can progress to this one. But I wouldn't start with this one. If this wasn't a Tubi Roulette situation, I sure as hell wouldn't have started with this one. So
yeah, my bet is like the first two movies that were made back in 2000 are possibly on the level of like Blood Harvest. I could be totally wrong about that, and that I'm just guessing, but I think it's possible. The other,
well, even just the clip show element there, we saw like there's practical effects. It's not just dumb CGI package shit.
Right.
Like, it looks like a little bit more effort was put into them, and potentially a couple more bucks. So and I got the feeling, at least in some of the earlier ones, there might be some like actors that might be actors. I don't know. I don't mean to say to be like overly insulting, but there's like they're like some more legitimate performers potentially. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's just context clues, but.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm saying like the earlier ones might be better and more well produced again with actors, because this one feels like it's made basically by fans.
Yes.
And I have a feeling a lot of the ones from 2016 and on are just comprised of people who are fans of like the Polonia brothers and Sterling films in general. And they just want to just want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I think you're right. All right, guys, that was Camp Blood 666 Part 2, Exorcism of the Clown. Don't forget, come on back next week. We got more clown business for you. We still got our monumentous episode I'm really looking forward to, where we are going to discuss, most likely at length, just for the simple reason that I am a huge fan. We're going to talk about killer clowns from outer space. We are going to wrap up, and that's going to be our final wrap up, right? Because there are 5 clown.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah. No, there are 4. There are 4 Mondays. So we will have one more clown minisode in March where we bring up the rear for March, discussing killer clowns from outer space. We got some clown emojis popping up in the chat here on the Discord. I'm excited for it. I got my damn popcorn. I got my damn ray gun. We're going to get some cotton candy. We're going to get buck wild with some clowns next week. So anything else, Steve? Anything we got to talk about? As always, give us some suggestions if you want to. We're getting into April. We already know what our showdown topic is going to be. But man, we're getting into camp slasher season. We're getting into, before we know it, it'll be motherfucking spooky season. So send us over some ideas. Send us over some suggestions. We're always looking for new and fun stuff. And then, please also, because this is going to be happening very, very soon. If you've got a suggestion for me for what our Patreon exclusive podcast, when we're done with the Fast and the Furious franchise in 2 more months, what we should do after that. I have suggested something like Diagnosis Murder. We have talked about potentially Hallmark movies. So something preferably that will damage Steve on a subconscious level, will anger him, make his life worse, and simultaneously won't make my life worse. That's going to be hard. I get it. But just, and you know what? It could be just something fun like Diagnosis Murder. Maybe we'll just do something but I'm still open to suggestions. By no means have we made a choice. So keep those suggestions coming. We love it. What else, Steve?
My one thing is we've spent so much time this month talking about clowns. And specifically, we've also just been doing a lot of bad clown movies as well.
Yes.
Like Crow, bad movie. Well, Crow 4, my bad. The Crow 4, bad movie. This movie, bad movie. Killer Clown, bad movie. Clown Town, could have been a good movie. Like, almost. Could have been. But it's been all bad clown movies. I need the people to understand that there is a really good movie I watched, and I don't know if we're going to make it to the show ever, but you have to go watch The Seeding. It's relatively new to it's on pay platforms right now. I imagine it'll come to Screambox and Shudder in no time. But this movie is just one of the most bonkers, upsetting films I've seen in a long time. So go check out The Seeding. The Seeding.
What year is it? It's just came out?
It says I think it was shot in 2021, but distributed festivals and stuff 2023. And so it's just now making its way out. But yeah, this movie is out of fucking control. It's mean. It's weird. It's upsetting.
Yeah. All the things I like. The things I like. Mean, weird, upsetting.
Yeah, I think you'll love it. But then our audience should love it as well.
Hey, maybe I'll watch it tonight. I'm actually watching the remake of The Blob right now, and I'm currently watching the telephone booth scene. Great fucking scene.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys and ghouls. Thanks for joining us for another one of our spooky, ooky little mini-sodes. Check us out next week. Like I said, get ready for the last of our clown business, where we actually do a good clown movie for once. We're going to discuss Killer Clowns from Outer Space next week. If you want to jump in here and join the rest of our friends in the Patreon, go sign up for the Patreon. You could record along with us, and we'll just get all manner of clowny next week. So, all right, for the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
And I'm Steve.
All right, see you later, bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.